right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the program here on a Monday. It is the weekend update from All Around Town Radio and the beautiful All Around Town Radio studio in downtown Springboro, Ohio. Welcome to the program, everybody. And I've got some special guests. We're going to get right to it today because we have a lot to say. I have a lot to say about this weekend, but we're going to get right to it. Some people saying hi. Glenn checking in on the YouTube channel. Hi, Glenn. Hello, Carrie. Thank you. And Kevin in the house. Kevin, I got to give you a shout out. Thank you for the Rick Kern fan club shirt. However, I do want to compliment you on thinking that I wore a large because I haven't worn a large since third grade. Just want you to know that. I'm going to have to give you that one back, buddy. You can give it to somebody that can wear it. But thank you for that. I appreciate it so much. Let's get the rest of these folks in to join me today. And there they are, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, 3/5 of the Bell Dwellers. How are you? Welcome, hello. Gina McCann and her puppy. Hi. What's that one's name, Gina?
Weston.
Weston. Hello, Weston. Rick Kern over there in the other corner, surrounded by black and darkness. And up there, live from the Bell and the Bear, sort of, Kathy Laverde. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks.
Oh, it's great to have you guys with me today, and we're gonna cover our weekend, and you know the weekend for me was basically spent at the Bell and the Bear. It was a magical weekend of celebration for Karis and her wonderful staff, everybody there. 5 years of that, and she rocked it through the COVID, where a lot of places swept the floor and closed the door, and she stayed going and kept all of us happy in music. So guys, we're going to talk about the jam first. I want to talk about that. You were all there on Thursday night, right? Gina, you were there Thursday night.
I missed your
singing. I did a Kathy Irish exit pretty quick on Friday night, but I did get to see some of the show Friday night. And it was impressive. The jam is always so cool. So, let's talk about that for a minute. That's really what I think has put the Bell on the map. So let's talk about Karis and this magical jam session that happens there on Thursday night.
You're on point, Kathy.
You're
drive
there,
that
Kathy.
shit more often than not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think it is what got all the musicians together. Scott, I think you brought up a really good point. During COVID, there were so many people that couldn't play for obvious reasons. So many places were shut down, and Karis bent over backwards to give us all a place to come together, to be able to play music the best that she could, following the rules so that she could stay open. And she was on an uphill battle. I mean, there was a lot of other local places around that wasn't happy that she was able to keep operating, and she had to fight against all of that. And I think that that's where a lot of us got to know each other better and start playing music. Took us a minute to talk Gina into coming out, but
I regret that. That's the one thing I regret, is not coming sooner.
So yeah, I think it's everything that you just said, Scott. It's just been amazing.
Gina, would you call that a turning point for you? I mean, you've been singing a long time.
Absolutely. So I've been in other bands, and the amount of support that is shown at the Bell and the Bear from everybody going out and seeing other people. Like, I never was in a band where that happened. They didn't go out and they didn't go see their other people. So I just thought that was the norm, and now it's like there's this whole world out there of people that are incredible, and I'm thankful for that.
Well, and there's a lot of music fans that go there, and I hate to use the cliche family, but it's a family
Absolutely.
of people who love music. When you go in there, I mean, most nights, like the jam nights, everybody's having fun, but they're laser focused on the talent on that stage, and they're music lovers. Some places you play, and Rick, you can jump in there too. When you're playing places, and the audience just isn't always engaged in the artist on stage, and other times at other places and venues they are. And I always use Crown Watts as an example. Anytime I go see a Crown Watts show, those people that are there for that show are focused on it, and they're just another band that Karis has had at the Bell and the Bear, who I think has reaped the benefit of this wonderful community that the house that Karis built, as I like to refer to it. Rick, what do you think? I mean, you've been busy. You've been in and out of there a lot. I mean, you stay busy with all your projects, so to speak.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the Bell and the talent that comes in that door, man?
It's amazing, and to Gina's point, anybody that's a regularly working musician very seldom gets to hang out with all these people that they admire so much. And, every time I'm there, and both the girls, I think, will back me up on this. It's not my priority to get up on stage. It's my priority to hang out with all these wonderful people that I hardly ever get to see because we're always working. I love getting up, I'm more than happy to, but I don't go there with the goal of getting up to play. I go there with the goal of just being part of that scene and how much fun it is.
Rick, could you tell our studio audience out there, mainly Steve Krakus, what's the beverage you're drinking? He'd like to know in the comments.
Yes. The way I describe this is Red Bull on ice with a splash of vodka. Just a splash.
And when we were off the show earlier, he did that too. He said a splash.
He did.
You got to be demonstrative about these things.
So, this jam session, guys, and I've been to a bunch of them, and I will say, Gina, what you said about it being a turning point in your life, it was for me too, because I was on the edge of kind of giving up what we do. I was ready with when COVID hit. It was like, oh, I don't know if I have the energy for all this, and to try to pull something off to keep this thing that we're doing relevant and everything. And all it took was one Thursday night at the Bell when I was introduced to the place, and the people I met that night, as Rick said, the humble musicians who sat in the audience and didn't care if they played or not. The people that come in and get jacked up because they don't get to play, they're not in the group. I mean, they're not the people who have the mindset of that mentality that comes there. I mean, you got to understand, it's almost like a giant frat party with everybody just hanging out with each other, having a few drinks, and playing music when they get up there. And if they play a song or if they play 6 songs, it doesn't really matter.
Well, I certainly didn't mean to throw a rock at anybody that's chomping at the bit. I'm blessed to get to play a lot. And because of that, I seldom get to hang out with the other players. And it's simple as that. But, people that get to play relatively seldom or are trying to break through in some way, I totally dig that they're really looking for the opportunity, Yeah,
and it's a great opportunity to get yourself seen by a lot of people and also become in a network of people who can help you. And I've seen some of the biggest, I hate to use the term stars, the biggest performers in Cincinnati, there in the Cincinnati region, reach out and help someone who maybe, it's the first time they've really been up in front of an audience there. And, it's not an open mic night, it's a jam night. And being able to play with that band behind you is a huge advantage. I mean, you know that, I know that.
Absolutely.
And that's like playing stump the band some nights. Uh-oh. It's all right.
He agrees.
He agrees.
That was Chloe.
It's a privilege. It's a privilege to get up there with that band, and you can throw anything at those guys and gals, and and it's funny to watch. And I love the bass player position, Kathy, because it rotates more than any other position during the jam. I think there's nights we've had 60 bass players hit the stage, and you're like, wow, why don't they just all plug in at the same time and play? It was like it's like that kind of thing. Between
still only 240 strings though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's nuts, man. It's so good. And Thursday night this week was one of the most epic jams I think I've ever been to, because all the people who had to play over the weekend couldn't be there Friday night. They were there Thursday night to support Karis and what she does. And I can't say enough about this woman. You all love her. I know you do. I love her. She is unique. She is one of those people. And when I say unique, I'm not making fun of her, although we do. She's unique. She is.
I make fun of her all the time.
Yeah. She's a rock star, and anything she touches lately, that I've seen really since I've met her, turns to gold. All her events are wonderful. Her, fundraising. even right down to posting a puppy that needs a home on Facebook. And the next thing you know, she's got, 50 people on there saying, we'll take it. I mean, she's a miracle worker some days. And
People driving a long way.
Bar
right?
business isn't easy. You guys been around it a long time. And, what do you think makes the magic of that Thursday night, guys? Somebody take that and talk about it.
I think a big part of it is the vibe. One, it starts with Karis. She had this vision. She knew she wanted a place where, as Chris Reese mentioned one time, where musicians come to see other musicians play. And then it's grown into something that I'm going to take from Gina, that Gina said at one time, that it feels like going to church.
Yeah.
There's just this energy when we're all together, and we don't all get to always be together. And Rick mentioned it also. He gets to hang out with people he doesn't always get to hang out with because he's playing. It's not just other musicians, it is the fans as well. And we get to just all be together in a different environment, whether we're on stage or off. And I think her vision and her drive and opening the door to that, it's build it and they will come. And I think that's what's happened.
Well, I will agree with you 100%. And Gina, your comment about it being going to church, let me tell you, you took me to church on Friday night. I had a spiritual moment there, man. There was a song you sang, and we'll get to it in a little bit when we're talking about that. But my God, girl, you just amaze me every time your pipes hit that microphone. You were an absolute blessing to have come in there. And I'm so glad you found the bell, and you're a part of that family now. Big part of that family.
Me too.
So Rick, you're most of the people on here today know you that are live with us right now, but you're doing a lot of projects. Oh, Gina, we just lost Gina. Where'd she go? She'll come back. There she is. She's back. All right. So Rick, you play in a lot of things. You're in the Eagles Project, Blackbone Cat. You're doing your solo show. How did you find time even to put this little Bell Dwellers thing together? I mean, you guys are all busy people.
How did I find the time? Anybody else want to laugh harder than me about that? It was really hard to carve out time. Never mind all the rehearsals went really well because it's such a professional group of people that know that you practice at home. Rehearsal is just for running over the song, right? And so that makes it possible to be really efficient. So in a couple of run-throughs, we had what we had Friday, and I'm sure, I hate to speak for Kathy and Gina, but when I listen back, I hear the bumps in the road, but I do feel like we were able to entertain a crowd that was already kind of on our side because they were all part of that scene. But I feel like we did a good thing. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of what everybody did.
Absolutely.
Well, never sell yourself short, because that performance was a performance of a lifetime there. In fact, I was sitting with a group of musicians, which I love to do at the Bell, and talking to them about you guys and how well you were doing up there. And when you finished, we all agreed at the table that if I were Vixen, I would have wanted to just stay on the bus.
Oh.
I mean, you guys were that good. And then Vixen came out and smoked the room. I mean, they did. It was incredible. Yeah. And so we've talked about the jam on this show a bunch. Let's segue into Friday night here. Let's get to Friday night. Who actually, and I believe it was Karis that had this super group idea of putting together a group of people at the Bell and the Bear. But how did
she invited me too?
Yeah, and I didn't think you guys were friends, but she let you in her bar to play.
It's kind of a sympathy vote. I get it.
Who put this together?
I'm writing Billy's coattails. That's what's happening.
Oh my God. And I've congratulated Billy. I haven't congratulated you yet. So happy engagement.
God bless you. Yes. Thank you. I'm a very lucky man.
You are, and she's a sweetheart. And you guys, who put this together? I mean, who made the set list? How did you decide that? Because that was an eclectic set list, man. It was everywhere. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I don't want to be the one that's always talking, but it's Karis's idea for sure. And then the set list was definitely, we created a group chat and just kicked ideas around, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So creative control was everybody then?
Yeah. I'm not interested in being in a band with a leader. I won't do it. It's got to be democratic,
Yeah.
And
I
the
love
other
that.
thing is, to your point with it being Karis's idea, and she really wanted, people that she could have had everybody on stage, she would have, but, put some people together that have been supportive and important to her over the last 5 years. But we also had to be mindful, and not necessarily so much with me, but Gina's really busy, Rick's really busy, Steve is really busy, is trying to come together with set lists of what do we already know.
How did I know she'd chime in on that one?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we have a
See why
special
we love
relation.
her?
Yes.
We have a special relation.
I don't know why. Yeah, why is she not here today? Because we could really get her fired up. But she'll be here tomorrow live with me at
That's
5,
why.
dropping the
Yep.
F-bombs and everything else all day long. Yes.
Look
You know
how good
she is.
I'm being.
You're doing well. You're
See?
doing well.
I don't think the girls have ever heard me go this long without an F-bomb.
And Dewey, who
Strong.
loves music, has just said, and her French fries, because
Her
the French fries
those
apparently.
French fries are amazing. Amazing.
I had one. Steve Krakis, I think, gave me one, and
It's not enough. One
yeah,
enough.
he wouldn't
For
share.
being a
He
good
wouldn't
boy?
share. Yeah, for being a good boy, he gave me one.
He gave you a French fry?
Yeah, it was like a Scooby snack I got there at the Bell and the Bear on Friday night. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, and Steve said, did we actually find time? You guys had 2 rehearsals, and you
Yeah.
came out of the shoot like a thoroughbred horse. You did. You guys were awesome, and
Thank you.
you say, and Rick, I know you guys are critical of yourselves a lot. You listen, you say, oh, we missed that ending or whatever. Let me tell you, there wasn't a soul in that room that didn't enjoy that performance. If you didn't enjoy the Bell Dwellers, then you should have gone bowling that night.
Yeah.
Because it's just,
Oh,
God.
God.
It's one of those, it was so good. Yeah. So when you pick songs like that and you all make it a democratic process, do you ever ask yourself, like in your group, do you ever say, you guys think that's going to work, or is that going to appeal to this crowd? I mean, do you do that? Or do you care?
I felt like we didn't know if the whole project was going to work, much less song by song.
Right.
Yeah, there was a lot of trench digging to come up with arrangements. Steve and I must have texted each other 1,000 times talking about the details of guitar arrangements and who's taking what solo, and a lot of the songs have multiple rhythm parts. It's just all this stuff. That's the trench digging you got to work out and then learn them.
This is getting good with Karis here. She was forced to invite you.
Yeah.
Well, if she wanted to remain friends with Billy, she felt obligated. Right. I know. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Toy said those were good bumps. They were. And so I want to talk about a couple other things too. And the magic of the jam and the magic of what you guys did that night before we talk about Vixen. It just amazes me how groups like you guys seem to, and you're all good musicians, but you seem to just say, yeah, let's try it. And it always works. I mean, it seems like it always works. And the jam's the same way. I've seen people say, I've never done that song before. Well, let's give it a shot. And then, Jamie Combs blows us away with a shredding guitar solo or something in the middle of it. That's the part I want to tell people if they're watching this show today. If you haven't been to the Bell and the Bear, get off your couch on a Friday night or Saturday night or a Thursday night and go down and see what the magic's all about, because you'll come in there and you'll say the vibe is so cool. It is. Yeah. And how did Karis create this vibe that is like none other? I mean, I hate to say that, but why do the musicians hang out in her bar? Because I don't see that in a lot of other places.
My own perspective, if you want to make the keystone of this thing, the jam, is that she did what I'm not aware of anybody else in town doing, and that was, it's going to be a jam, but we're going to maintain a certain standard. It's never going to be just karaoke night. You know what I mean?
Right. And she started off with supreme people, Dave Moody. I mean, you gotta give props with the people who, and he was doing jams before that at the venue even. And Dave's been known forever. And Lori had a great thing going out there till that place closed up. And, it kind of transformed over to the Bell and the Bear, I think, and became this phenomenon during COVID that it was the place to gather. And, we all made it our home, and you guys made it your home on Friday night. And I've got to say more props for the Bell Dwellers, because when your set ended, that room was abuzz with "We want more." So are we going to get more?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I am so glad to hear that because I was worried.
That's all we know right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was worried this was a one and done project, maybe because for some friends and this and that. But I am glad to hear we may hear more from you guys. And
Yeah.
I looked at Johnny Fink out in the audience that night, and Gina, I got to tell you, that man is so proud of you. I was talking to him, and Johnny Fink had a smile from ear to ear while you were singing. He is proud to be associated with you, and I think Johnny knows he's found himself a vocal partner there as well, who's just incredible. So all these intertwinings and people that make it happen. My view on it is, it's magic, it's fun, it's enjoyable, and it's family. And you don't find that. I came up, I think I said to you, Gina, after the show, I said I needed this night so bad. And you know, nobody knows what people are going through, what they're doing out there. And Gina, your voice, I mean, Rick, you kill it every time I see you, but I gotta give Gina props, man, because Gina is spiritual.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she takes you to church and then some. And you killed it the other night. And that Zeppelin song, where did that come from? I mean,
I'm telling you
song.
what. I'm telling you what. First practice, I looked at Kathy, and I'm like, I have to. No, you can't just learn that song. You have to let it breathe. I don't even know how to explain it. And then Kathy gave me some pointers and stuff too, but. Yeah,
the one that sings so
that
well.
Was studying. I studied. I studied that song a lot. My husband probably knows it by heart.
Well, your husband had tears in his eyes in the audience. I want you to know that. All right, he did. He stood out there next to me, and he had tears in his eyes listening to you sing that. And that's so cool.
Scott, if you see the video that Bill posted. That's one that's got the whole thing because he had the stick, right?
Right.
And at the end of that, I ask you to look at me on the side of the stage because she finishes her vocal part, and I'm just looking straight up at the ceiling, and I just take a huge breath in, like, oh my God, that was special.
It was so cool. And Dewey just commented about Broken too. You guys absolutely slayed that. And Gina, when you did Promises in the Dark, I said this is gonna rock. And just your song choices were unreal good.
So I didn't know some of these songs. Like I knew Babe, I'm gonna leave you. Kathy had asked me probably, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. Like before a jam, she was like, do you know this song? And I'm like, let me give it a listen. Maybe we can swing it tonight. And I remember the first time listening to it, I'm like, there ain't no way. There ain't no way.
Well, there's a way.
Oh, let me just wing that one out there. You can't, that's not a winging song. But
and Kara, you're asking about the video. Bill, if you're watching today, I think Bill's out there. Drop your link in the comments so Kara can find your videos, if you will, Bill. Drop it in there. Karis, there's all kinds of videos. I think he took like 8 that night or something.
He got the whole show.
Yeah,
and every single song.
Yeah,
we got to give Bill props because Bill does a great job, and his videos always are so well done. You know, he doesn't have the woo girls next to him screaming the whole time and all that. He gets that camera up there and actually makes it a good video.
Wait. Who are the woo girls?
They follow you, Rick.
Girls, all right.
They follow you. We're well aware of who they are. All right.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. So, yeah, and Steve said, "Babe, I'm going to leave you" as Gina's song. Yeah, that one's got to be in your bag of tricks a lot, Gina. And people will wait for that one. Make that one the encore song or something there. So, guys, we're running out of time. So I want to get into some other stuff, too, besides the Bell Dwellers, who what a unique opportunity to play 2 sides of the room, too, that night. I never imagined that working, but it worked really well. You guys on the back side of the room there, Vixen set up on the main stage and ready to rock. And once you were done, it didn't take long for Vixen to get out there and take the stage. And let's talk about Vixen for a minute. Let's talk about Vixen. What do you think?
I have a perspective.
Incredible.
Yeah. So there were a bunch of people that that either knew about what we were doing and saying, I feel sorry for Vixen, or after we got done with our set saying, I feel sorry for Vixen. I've seen Vixen 3 times over the last couple of years, and I said, Vixen has nothing to worry about. They're amazing. So, and I think they proved that to everybody. Even if that catalog, they're serving their foundation, right, and doing it justice, and I love what they do. But they're amazing. I think they're better than they've ever been, and I saw them back on the Rev It Up tour. So yeah, I'm a huge fan. Of course, Roxy Petrucci is world class, and they all are. And Britt is. Listen to those guys warm up, and she would rip into like a Randy Rhoads solo or something. I'm like, this is so good.
Yeah, and Roxy, man, she came out like a cannonball. I mean, she did. What a voice. And everybody, I mean, the whole band, just amazing. And then for them to hang out, and some of them played later. You guys had an epic jam afterwards that I didn't get to stay for. Man, I saw the videos, and I was living vicariously through video because I wanted to be there. Go ahead, Kat.
I was just going to say one thing about the jam afterwards, because it's so cool that Britt stayed after and played. Tyson Leslie, who doesn't get a lot of credit all the time because he's just always kind of stays in the background and plays keyboards for them.
And everything else.
Well, he does a jam, in Nashville every few months. It's just incredible, called Rare Hair, and he does it on Monsters of Rock Cruise, so he's used to jams. But I had no clue what an incredible bass player he is.
He blew my mind.
What an incredible vocalist he is, and he plays drums, and what a highlight of the jam he was.
Yeah, he was incredible. And I stood back there during their performance, Vixen's performance, on that side of the stage for a while, watched him play, and he's good. He's real good. And he was kind of directing the band as well. I mean, you could tell he has a big part in their show.
Yep.
But what about Vixen and just their stage performance? Put all the music aside and all that, the energy they showed. I mean, this was like me going back to my 80s youth, man. It was a rock show. And these girls flinging their hair around and singing, and she's up there on the monitor, standing up on the monitor with the crowd in front. And there were people that got there at 6 o'clock when the doors opened, and they stood at that front of that stage to see Vixen. That's what they were there for. You could tell that. Totally. And there was some love for Vixen there that night. And what an incredible performance, man. I just, Gina, what'd you think? You, I saw you up there with a big grin on your face too.
So that was my first time. I honestly didn't know who Vixen was. I hate to say that, but I didn't. But they're incredible. I thought they were great.
They're amazing.
What a performance, and nice people too. And that's the other part you love. They weren't there weren't any egos in that room that night, from the Bell Dwellers all the way through Vixen, and then the jam afterwards. I mean, that was just a bunch of people with a love for music, and I can't say enough about it. And Karis for pulling that off. And we've got to give a big shout out to some really supportive people, Brian and Kelly Peters, who always support the Bell and the Bear in every way they can. My God, just the networking, being able to call Ryan Wingate and say, hey, we need your bus tonight at our place. The networking that goes on there is crazy. And then she gets in the same week into a food truck. The girl's a glutton for punishment. She is.
She did that, and did that well also. Surprise.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was raving about the food.
Yeah, like I said, she's got that golden touch in anything she does. And there are bigger and better things to come for Karis and the Bell and the Bear. We all know that. And she's only just begun, as they say in a song. But you guys, what else you have to add to that night? Somebody give me some other perspective. We got a couple more minutes here before we got to run today. So.
I love the bass player. Julia, that plays bass for them, is a dynamite, not just on bass and stage presence. She's got a killer voice. Also happens to be the wife of Richie Kotzen, who's one of my favorite guitar players. But she's a gem, man. I loved watching her. She is. Everybody keeps saying how much she's Laurie Scrivener's doppelganger. And she really is.
I agree, 100%.
Just amazing. And Lorraine, the singer, used to sing for a band in the 80s called Femme Fatale. And Rick, you said it before a couple of weeks ago, and you're right. I think it's the strongest lineup they've had. I mean, they killed it.
And nothing against the previous lineup, but anyway you slice it, it's a more powerful band now, and I love that they're going out there and just giving it hell every night.
Yep.
Well, and yeah, Roxy back there killing it. I mean, it's just crazy. It's so good. And Vixen is going to stand the test of time. I mean, they've had different people in their lineup and all that over the years, but those songs are embedded in people's minds. And just like any of those, like when Kip Winger was at the Bell, the same thing. Those songs people know, they sing along, they love them. And everybody that came in there that night got more than their money's worth. Trust me.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, there's a lot of people that are going to have FOMO here. They've missed out on this, you know, and there's a lot of people once they see these videos are going to say, man, there was just so much going on that night. And I couldn't get there. And, you know, I mean, I feel it. There's a lot going on in the summer, but man, if you can't get to Karis's magic, you're missing out. That's all I got to say. It's crazy. And we always say Karis, but you know, she's built a team there. There's a team of people who put these on. And right down to, you know, Billy doing merch and, you know, gosh, who was at the door? We had
Martin, Erica.
Yeah, Erica at the door some. And then,
Yeah.
and then all the, you know, Jake even coming back for the night to work and people like that who Karis has put together a team, and Sean out there on the floor. He was really working that room, shaking hands with people and doing the things that they do there at the Bell. It's a family. It is. Some of
the behind the scenes stuff, like Mark Gibson bringing out a generator and hooking all that up so that we had power on the other side of the room, and then Tim McCann jumping up on top of the damn food truck to fix the exhaust van. I mean, all this stuff that was going on that made the night successful. That's the people behind the scenes was fantastic.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you for that comment. And guys, those of you out there that are out there, I'm sorry I haven't responded to a lot of your comments. We're trying to get them up on the screen today, but we're really into this conversation about this. Gina's into her dogs.
I like to say teamwork makes the dream work.
I love
Aww.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I'm gonna throw up a little.
Can I put that in a quote and put it on the screen? How about better yet, we put up there, follow the Bell Dwellers on Facebook. How about we do that? All right.
Yep.
We'd like to get them to 100 likes today. Can we get the Bell Dwellers to 100 likes today, maybe? 100.
Then we're going to go on tour.
Yes. Yes. In a VW microbus across the country. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Further.
And Gina, I think Tim will be driving the bus. That's what's going to happen. That's what he said he wanted to do. So you guys are fantastic. I can't thank you enough for coming on today. And you guys have helped me tell the story for everybody of what we saw over the weekend. There's Tim in the background. How you doing, Tim?
He said hi.
They
said hi. He said hi.
Scott, thank you for everything you do. You're a big part of this whole scene.
Yes,
it's much appreciated.
Scott.
Thank you, Rick Hearn. I appreciate you, my friend. And you guys make it fun. And like I said, Karis and that jam saved a lot of us during the COVID. And she gave me a purpose to keep doing what we do. And that's promote local music. And I can't say that I like anybody more than the family at the Bell and the Bear. I mean, it's just a wonderful bunch of people. And if I choose to go out, it's the place to be. And Gina, anything else you want to share before we go?
No, sir. I'm just thankful. Thankful for the Bell family.
Well, I'm going to say one thing on Gina's behalf. It's her birthday Wednesday, and she's playing with Johnny at Bell. So I think we all need to come out and celebrate her birthday.
Oh, shameless plug right there.
Shameless.
I'd be there, but I'm playing at Route 50 Saloon in Cleves.
And I'll be at Heather's on the patio that night with Name That Tune. So,
sorry, you drew that out of me.
And you were talking about Lori Schreiber's doppelganger. I said that night, if you threw Lori and Jess behind the bar into a blender, you got the bass player. That's kind of what they look like. That's
a visual I'm gonna have to shake off.
Hey, shake it off, Rick. Shake it off.
He's throwing them in a blender. What the hell?
Channeling is in Taylor Swift there. All right, no. Guys, thank you so much. Kathy, I love you dearly. You have been a great friend there from day one, from the first night I walked in that place. Thank you so much for what you do and running that list, which is not an easy thing to do on a Thursday night. You work hard, and I call you the ambassador of the Bell. You are the best ambassador that Karis has. You really are. Rick Kern, you're a rock star. Thank you, my friend.
My pleasure.
Everything you do. and Judas Priest was off the chain.
Oh my God.
You gotta come see my Rapid Fire Judas Priest tribute band sometime.
I want to do that. You know,
I know I don't know why my devil horns are all twitchy, but
I've been to your Eagles project a couple times, even in my Contraband T-shirt, but it's been fun. So there, I love you guys at the Eagles project too. A fantastic group. And Gina, you're playing with Johnny a lot. You're out there, and the Johnny and Gina thing is amazing. I see you sitting in with his band, The Intrusion, occasionally also. And thank you so much for being part of our family. And you're a blessing to have, my dear. Guys, thanks for watching. Back to you in the studio. Okay. And I want to let you know tomorrow, 5 o'clock, we'll be here live with Karis. Join us because she'll have a lot of shit to say because she always does. Yes. There. I threw it out there. All right. What's she saying now? She's always saying
She
something.
has the best of intentions. She means the best.
She really does. Even though she'll get me kicked off the internet someday, we know how it works.
That's right.
Look at her. Karis says rude. Rude. Hot Topic Tuesday tomorrow at 5, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you next time. Guys, stay with me till we go off the air here, if you will. All right, we'll see you next time here at All Around Town Radio. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you, Sweet Sister Mercy, for the theme song, by the way. And remember, the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of our sponsors or any entities they represent. Thank you. The Book of Face. Thank you, Mark.